Been a long time since I've done a live stream. I really don't know what time is it now, but we gotta do this fast. Let me check the actual time. Time now, because I need to wake up pretty early later. It's 1:08 a.m. So as you can see, we have here the my premium Detonix Drill Dragon deck. We're gonna go with the list as fast as I can. You can test play it in Cardfight area, I guess, if you don't have the cards. And if you do have the cards, maybe test it out in your at your own expense of time. So we'll go straight into the G zone. Yes, I'm tired. I didn't even go to the Spring Fest, but I'm tired. I did a lot of stuff. I'm busy. We have here Gilgal. Basically, I use it for the continuous on the G zone, in which you can strike without paying the stride costs. Its axe skill is basically counter plus 2, soul plus 1. And then end of this turn, this unit battles all of your opponent's units uh, in one attack. Then it gets 10,000 power up. Then there's a auto cost, I mean auto skill, the red skill. When its attack hits, counter charge 1. So basically, if you hit 3, counter charge 3. What is the cost? Counter blast 2. So if you hit minimum of 2, the counter blasted cards is basically to you get to take it back. And the only way to stride into Gilgal is if you pay the same grade 3, I guess, for the stride cost. That's how progenitors works. I'm running 3 stun versus, not 4, not 2. I really don't know why. It feels right to run 3. First one for first stride after this, or if you can't go for Gilgal, just go straight into this. That's how I usually do it. Second, if I feel like I want to have the opponent's buy zone be thicker. And a third one, mid game. I usually don't use it late game because it tends to have me go in a deck out. But sometimes you gotta take risks. Or if you can commit. This is a live stream. I can't say the word S word. You can commit. You can have yourself deck out if you don't want to give your opponent the pleasure of them defeating you by 6 damage. Sometimes I do that. Next, I run two voltages because big swing. I can't explain well. That's the scale of voltage. You need to have a. It's because it's basically open up another copy of itself. Then gets the red skill when it hits opponent's Vanguard. Your opponent chooses two of his rear guards to retire it. No, only two? No, only one. And then you choose up to two cards from your opponent's drop zone and you bind them face up. And it has a G Break 3 skill in which all of your units in your front row get 3,000 power up for each card in your opponent's bind zone. So I run two for a big swing turn. I don't know if you guys can see every stuff. My setup's very awkward right now. I run two V Busters. Sometimes I use them. Most of the times I don't. The only reason that I run them is for flipping. They're my flip fodders for my stun verses. The third one is when I use this, I randomly pick what I turn face up. I open them up for stun verse costs in order to have full use of my one copy VMAX in case that I opt for a VMAX turn. I didn't explain these cards. Um, they're basically uh, cards that I don't really stride into. But their skill is basically Soul plus one, turn another copy of itself face up. I think no, yeah, turn itself face up. Punches is one card is from Mr. Rear Guards, drop zone, and bind them face up. If you remember for rear guards, is greater than your opponent. You choose up to 3 for your own units. They gain 3,000 power up until end of turn. Oh my god, that takes my breath. I mean, that's a. I need to breathe, bro. It has a count skill, G Break 3, Vanguard Circle, Thunder Strike 7, which is very achievable nowadays. All of your front units gets 5,000 and this unit gets critical plus 1 and drive plus 1. I guess it's okay for a push turn, but if I'm going for a power up turn, so power up so swing, grade 4 turn, I'm just gonna go with this. I don't know. You usually don't stride V Buster. Back then I do. Now we have VMAX. VMAX here is basically the stride that I often used back then when the meta is all about resist. But nowadays I only use it for its skill, which allows you to deal your opponent 1 damage. But you need to meet the condition of Thunder Strike 5, then pay a cost of Counter Blast 2, and then the battle that this unit attack a Vanguard. If your opponent has no rear guards, you may pay the cost. If you do, you choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and deal 1 damage. So that's pretty much the only reason I run it. If I'm really in a tight spot and I want to take my chances, let's do it. uh, it has a continuous in which when the unit attacks a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guard circle for each face-up card with Vanquish on your card in its card name. So VA Buster, Voltage, so max of 4, I guess, in my build. Um, it battles those triggered circles that you've chosen for each Vanquish unit in your face up in your G zone, plus the Vanguard circle, and 1 swing or 1 attack. Then we have a tech card. I originally didn't use this in the previous videos that I've been using this premium deck, but there are times that I misride into Sigma, and when that happens, I said to myself, why not put to Zillion? Then here we are. This is Zillion. Zillion is basically the Zendan stride. You only get. I think Zillion is usable during first turn. Yeah, first stride, it is usable. So Zillion here, skill you turn face up a copy itself. Then if your hard card has a descendant, its card name. Until the end of the turn, it gets the red skill in which you pay the cost of Counter Blasting 1 and Soul Blasting 2. Yes, that is the old Soul Blast art. And choose 3 cards from your hand, discard them. At the end of battle, this unit attack a Vanguard. If the attack did not hit, you may pay the cost. If you do, stun this unit and gets drive -1. Okay, so yeah, that's Zillion. Then my final G unit in my G zone is Closer Dragon. This is my go-to stride back in the days when I was in competitive. When I was competitive player. So we have Closer Dragon. The Closer Dragon is the Break 8 of Narukami. When it's placed on the Vanguard Circle, retire all rear guards of all fighters and bind all of the cards in your opponent's drop zone face up. Until end of the turn, this unit gets continuous Vanguard Circle. All of your unit gets 2,000 power up for each card in all fighters bind zone. So I think I saw a Dangari list, which is cool, I guess, but I already sold mine. But maybe in the future I get to hold again a Dangari. I'll try to make a video out of it. Right now my meme deck is Detonix. G guards. I use Dismel because I have a lot of air guards that I want to keep at times. Cho, Sigma, and I don't know. There's Spark Rain, I think. That's basically the skill. The Guardian Circle, it has resist. When it's placed on Guardian Circle, choose one of your rear guards until the end of the turn. It cannot be hit and cannot be chosen by effects of your opponent's cards. So it's basically the use of it. Sometimes I don't use it. No, that's in a different build. I actually use this in this build. Then I have here Bulwark. I think it is an errata in which it goes first, then done the skill of opponent's auto during end of battle step. It retires first in the guardian circle before the end of the battle step. So this is a very handy G guard. I only have one because I'm dumb. I sold my other copies and I don't want to burn cash. I'm gonna wait for the time that I get more copies via trade. Its skill, yes, I only have one copy and it's SP. Thunder Strike 3 gets 10,000 shield as a continuous, and an auto skill of at the end of battle, this unit is placed on Guardian Circle. Uh, from every 4 cards in your opponent's bind zone, choose up to one rest regard your opponent's front row and retire it. I don't know the exact wording of the errata, but I already explained how it works. It goes first before the auto skill of the end of battle skill of any opponent's auto skill upcoming skills from the cards. My brain is dead. It's 1 a.m. Next, final G guards. I run 2 Brahma. They're basically G guards that allow you to have 25k shields by paying the cost of choosing 2 cards with different grades in your drop zone, then binding face up. So that's basically the G zone. Oh, thank God. That's a lot of words to say. We're going to the main deck in a while. Let me hide this G zone somewhere. I don't know. Let's put it in there. Okay. Since it is a Detonix deck, I run 4 of the Detonix drill. Detonix drill here is basically the first VR rarity card, grade 3 of Narukami and V series. Its skill is a once per turn Vanguard circle skill. When it attacks a Vanguard, counter blast, choose a rear guard in its front row, then bind it. Discard same number of cards as the number of rear guards left in opponent's field after you've done the bind one. Then at the end of the battle, you can stun this unit and it gets power plus 5,000 and drive minus 1 until end of turn. So yeah, it's a restunder. You need to clean the field in order for you to just pay counter plus 1 only, which is why the list is gonna be more focused on binding the opponent's regards. So those 4 of that. I'm not lining them up because my setup is pretty whack. I can't line them up. You can't see it all. Next, decided to run only 3 to minimize the chance of me misriding it. 3 copies of Sigma. Sigma here, I really don't use the Vanguard skill, but I'll explain it as well since this is a deck list. Its Vanguard skill is Counter Blast 1 Eradicator. Its card name when your G unit with Eradicator. So Zillion. In its card, original card name is Stride. You may pay the cost. Already said the cost. If you do, choose one of your Vanguards and until the end of turn, it gets 10,000. And when it stands, it gets Drive plus 1. So the Drive minus 1 of Zillion is mitigated. Is that the right word? But you still need to discard 3 for it to stand. Just kinda okay, I guess. I really don't want to write this, so there's only 3 copies. Then we have the Regret Circle, the only reason I'm running it. And also, I'm not running. I can't do edits. This is this live. Esperaridia, Verena Esperaridia. I think it's the grade 4. And the booster 4. I think when your when your Vanguard attacks, it gains plus 5. I really don't know. As much as I know, it stands as long as your Vanguard attacks by Soul Blasting 1, I think. You can search it, Virina Esperiridia. I'm looking for that for copies. I might drop Sigmas for that. I don't know, or add those so I have more restanders in this build. Yes, the build is also running a lot of restands and multi attacks. So its skill is Counter Blast 1 once per turn in the rearguard circle. G break 1. Choose a card from your hand and discard it. We only do it if at the end of the battle that it attack a Vanguard and its attack did not hit. Yeah, you can pay the cost. It stands. There's no power up, so usually I put this either in an axle or have another rear guard at its back as a boost. So 3 copies of Sigma, and we're going straight to the grade 2s. I now run 3 copies of Spark Rain. Spark Rain here powers up as a continuous Vanguard Regular Circle, power up 1000 for each cards in opponent's bind zone. So it's not a steady 9k. I think it's active even oh no, only on my own turn. Sad. Didn't make it both players' turn. Then there's the Regular Circle auto skill, and then while this unit attack, counter +1, choose the column this unit is in and bind all of the front row riggers in that column and move all back row riggers in the front row of that same column. I don't know if I get to bind opponent's rear guard with this. I'm gonna check on that, but now I'm running this for more attacks. And I get to use my own bind zone as well for power ups either way. I run late game, so it's okay. I'm running 3 Spark Cranes. Next on my list, I run 4 more Restanders. Um, Cho-O. It got reprinted like twice already, so his value kinda uh, went down the drain. Back then, these are so expensive. I even have an SP donated by a friend. It has the damage. You guys? I'm gonna let you guys see the damage. It's donated because it's damaged as well, I think. But nonetheless, I'm very thankful for that friend for giving me this SP. In the front, it's okay looking. In the back, it's dead. Yeah, we have SP. Okay, 4 copies of Cho-O. What does Cho do? We're gonna use the non-SP because it flares. It gleams too much in the camera. I can't read. When placed, counter +1 while placed on V or R circles. Choose a column, bind one of your opponent's front row guards in that column, and move up to one back row guard in that column to the front row guard circle. I think this bypasses resist. I don't know if this also binds. What is it? All front row rear guard. Bind all front row rear guards. Bind all. So if this also targets opponent's rear guard, I think this also bypasses resist. So maybe that's another reason why I put it in it. I built this list months ago, so I don't really remember the logic why I have put other cards. So yeah, that's the first skill. The auto skill, the rear circle skill of once per turn, and then the battle your Vanguard attack. If your opponent's one plus rear guards, counter +1 and stand this unit. So that's the skill of Joe. I'm running 4. Next, I don't remember why I've chosen to put uh, Plasmatrons. Oh yeah, I have matchups in which they don't really have a field to bind with. So I've thought, why not run Plasmatron? Because it binds opponent's drop. It has a axe skill once per turn while it's in rear. Under strike 4, counter +1. Power up 2000 for each card in opponent's bind zone. So besides the outer power ups of my strides, it powers up by itself by paying the cost. G break 1. When it's in its place on R, your opponent chooses a card from his or her drop zone and binds it face up. So this is Thunder Strike unit. I think there's first Thunder Strike unit in my list. The starter utilizes the skill of Thunder Strike. I also have a grade 1 that supports that style of Narukami back then. And now we have the most commons in every list nowadays. Uh, Gongsun, Gongsan, and Obun. I don't know. Uh, I'm gonna show them side by side. This gains 3000 if you have this in its back or same column. This gains 3000 if you have this in its same column. So it's basically 11 plus 12, 23k magic number can swing force grade 3s. Um, in the battle, it attack while boosted by this grade 1, counter plus 1, bind all of your regards in the same column as unit, and draw 2 cards. Which is kinda great. Since it will probably be used for intercept, but might as well draw 2 cards if it gets retard lock or something. And also, I think this bypasses resist as well, since you don't really target those regards. You target the whole ass column. When placed, if you have a lightning, this grade 2 in the same column, counter charge 1. So it place, counter charge, attack, end of battle, CB1, retire whole column, draw 2. Great combo, probably will be a staple for a long while, or I think as long as Vanguard lives and premium is a format. Next, grade 1s. Smash Boxer. This is a favorite grade 1 that I used to run back in Jira. Uh, it has a continuous skill, G break 1. During my own turn, during the battle, this unit boosted a unit with Thunder Strike, so we have the Plasmatron. That unit in this unit cannot be chosen by the effect of opponent's cards, so it can't be, I don't know. Yeah, it can't be denied, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments once this is uploaded. It can't be the G-Guard of Gear Chronicle that swaps out, shuffle, target, shuffle, call another one from the top deck. Yeah, you can't do that to me if I use the combo of this with Plasmatron using that continuous. Then we have the Rear Guard Circle G Break 1, Thunder Strike 3. Put this unit into your soul. At the end of battle, unit boosted if you have a Vanguard with Vanquisher. So it might sound weird running this in this build, but since at times I do strike VMAX voltage and once in a blue moon V-Buster, this comes in handy for a counter charge. At the same time, I can just leave it at the field and have my Plasmatron do its thing, the combo. But if I do get the chance to play the second skill, I will probably do it. So put it into the soul, then draw card and counter charge 1. So good. The skill is so good. You get a +1 for a soul, +1 to your hand, then you get a counter charge. So 3 copies only. I only run 2 Phoenixes. I don't remember why. I think most of the time I only get to summon 2, even if I have 3 copies. So I just went for 2 since I have a lot of tech ends in this list. But back then I used to run 3. You can run 4 if you want. Everyone has the free will to do stuff. I think everybody knows the skill drop zone when your opponent's regard is bound during your turn. You may call this card to regard circle. If you do, this unit gets 3,000 power until end of turn. 2 copies only. Then more counter charge since I have a lot of counter blasting done in this list. Helena here. You only get to counter charge by paying the cost of Soul Blast 1 and meeting the condition of you have to only have you don't if you don't have any face of card in your G zone and when your opponent's regard is bound at that point in time in which you don't have any face of card in your G zone. So yeah, you can. That's why I only run 2. I really don't need a set of them or 3. Next, Stride Fathers. I think other people build run the Script Fathers, but I don't. So I'm running this instead. Also, I don't run the V version. The only use of this is to have a Stride Father, grade +2. Nothing else. Next, Heals. I run 2 of the Heal Guardians, Blitz Knuckle Dragon. I think everybody knows what a Heal Guardian is. If not, in the shortest explanation, if you did not try the grade 3 yet during the card fight, you can perform one of the following effects. when it's placed on the Guardian Circle from hand. Choose your one of your Vanguards plus 10,000 until the end of that turn. So defensive plus 10. Or critical minus 2. If you choose one of your opponent's units, gets critical minus 2. If its swing is too big, but its critical went by 1, you can just put this crit minus 2, take boy. You can just say that. Let me do that. Then it has the other auto skill, which when it's based on R from hand. If your damage zone has no cards, put the top card of your deck into your damage zone. So another way, no, Bushi made a way for people that damage deny their opponents. Damage deny me, I damage myself. I think the Link Joker one will be very useful for Glendios. Yoki. Yoki here is basically the generic counter charge or soul charge heal of all clans. This is an Narukami version. When discarded for the cost of G guarding, bind this card face up and choose another heal in your drop zone and bind it face up as well. You either counter charge or soul charge. I run one Dragveda. When you check it during your drive check, it gets the additional effect of having your Vanguard stand. Besides the 100 million from the Overtrigger basic power up. I run 3 of the Olina 2019 I think criticals. The criticals that are G-Break 1, when your Vanguard attacks, put to the soul, draw a card. Or you choose one of your Vanguards, gets 10,000 power up till the end of that battle. So, pretty nice because you get to draw. And also, it's not restricted to a certain build, unlike the old SF. So sad. I used, I burned around, how many pesos is that? I think 1,000 pesos for me to get Resefs back then when they were released. Then it's dead. Kind of a life lesson. Don't keep cards too long. Next, Parama. I got lucky. I won an auction. They're all holos, so I kept them. But I'm open for downgrades. You can give me 4 copies of it, then cash if you're in the Philippines, or give me 8 copies of this. You you'll shoulder the shipping unless we're gonna meet up. So yeah, 4 copies of Parama is basically 20k shield if your opponent's Vanguard is greater. 20k shields fronts. Because I have standards, I went for fronts. Yet I put in 3 crits because pressure, I guess. Also surprise, rainbow. Then for draw perfect guards. Place on Guardian Zergal, discard card from your hand, and choose one of your units can be hit at the end of that battle. I'm so tired. I think it's already 2 a.m. Let me check. It's almost 2 a.m. So final card, Hard Rod Draco Kid, Forerunner. I don't know if you guys don't know what's a Forerunner, but for people that don't know, when it's right rode upon, I think by grade 0 or 1, call it to rear. That's the Forerunner skill. That's why they don't put the structure anymore since it's common knowledge, I think, for players that are been too long in this game like me. Here's circle skill act. As this unit, your opponent chooses a card from his or her drop zone and binds it face up. If your opponent could not bind, you counter charge, choose one of your units with starter strike ability, Plasmatron or the Smash Boxer. It gets 3,000 power to the end of turn. Then the other act skill, Thunder Strike 4. Put this counter plus 1, put this unit to your soul, choose one of your units. It gets plus 3,000 at the turn. Your opponent chooses one of his or her rear guards and retires and binds it face up. So I've learned recently that The retire and bind and face out doesn't necessarily go to the drop. It's also a bind technically. So it gets retired, then goes to the bind zone. So I think the new sweep command works with the cards with the wordings of retire and bind face up. I don't know. We'll know by August when I do deck list of those different builds of eradicators. So yeah, that's the list. Also, Thunderstrike's skill is basically the number of bound cards your opponent's bind zone. Thunderstrike 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. There's a list. Good lord. Let me drink up. Oh, my ice got melted. Oh. So yeah, that's the list. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, I guess, share. What else? Hit that bell button for notifications of future uploads, live streams, etc. Subscribe. And it's already been 31 minutes for a deck list. I'm tired. It's 2 a.m. here in the Philippines. See you in the next video.